You've heard the saying, everything happens for a reason. Well, I'm here to tell you today that you are the one that give the event reason by making it fuel for your journey. We can make anything into fuel by simply changing the perspective and the angle of which you look at the thing that happened to you. If that's the case, then there's no such thing as a setback, because a setback is one, an opportunity for a comeback, but a setback is something that you're basically saying that this wasn't supposed to happen. No, it was supposed to happen because you have your own journey and you're supposed to learn something from it, and that thing that you're learning is supposed to help you on your journey to fulfill your potential. Whatever happens to you can be fuel if you let it. Or you can choose to stop the car completely. You do not want to stop the car completely on your way to your journey. Anything that happens to you is fuel. Sometimes you can choose to make that fuel into turbocharging fuel if you let it. Everything that happens to you, you have to put a reason to it of why it was given to you, of why this specific thing happened to you. There is no why. You make the why. That's why it's so crucial for you to get a vision of your future, because you decide what the why is. The why is the future. It's not something that happened in heaven that said that this was going to happen. I personally don't believe in determinism. I believe that you can decide what you want to do with your life, and that the system is perfect for you to be able to arrange that for you in your best interest. Whatever happens to you is fantastic. And because it's fantastic, or because you use it as fuel, that's what makes it fantastic. In this way, you can always have a positive attitude despite what happens to you, despite deaths, despite injuries, despite anything that goes on in your relationships with other people. You just use it as fuel in order for you to get faster towards your end destination. Now, also understand that it's not all about the end destination. It's all about enjoying the journey. But the thing is that when you manage to angle everything that happens in your life in such a way as to create fuel from it, that actually helps you to enjoy the journey. The value system that I have, the philosophies of life that I have, helps me to get through anything, even if it's not even true. You might say that you are delusional when you manage to angle everything that happens to you into a positive. Because you might be. But that delusion actually will assist you in the future if you continuously are progressing towards where you want to go. So is it delusion at that point? It's a fair question. You have to learn to make everything that happens in your life a positive thing. It's going to hurt. Yes. It's going to be painful. Yes. Awesome. Fantastic. Great. Because that's going to chisel you into the character that you want to have and into the person you want to become. It's in relationships. It's if people, like I said, death, injury, blah, 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 whatever happens to you. Obviously, you don't want to attract that stuff and say, oh, bring it on. Give me all sorts of problems, because there's way more problems that can be attracted to you than you can ever imagine. But we don't want to imagine that, right? We want to imagine a great future. And when you imagine a great future, things are going to happen along that journey that's going to try to take you off course. But if you make every single thing fuel, you won't be led astray. You won't be taken off course. The key is consistency, right? Well, guess what? the journey of consistency is an inconsistent one. We're human. We're not robots. We're not perfect. We're going to mess up. When people join my community, I give them a CEO schedule. I help them to design it, and it's worth its weight in gold, okay? But what's funny is that this is a perfected schedule, and nothing in life is perfect. So if you understand that, which I do, then you realize that, hey, guess what? I only managed to achieve 80% of my schedule this week. That's how it's supposed to be. You're not going to manage to do it 100% every week. Maybe some weeks you'll have 90%. Maybe some weeks you have 95%. Maybe some weeks you have 75%. And then you'll be like, you know what? Next week I'm going to do better, and use it as fuel to do better next week. But the whole point is just to try to improve and get better and move towards an improved situation. And even at that improved situation, you'll get to a point where you're 80% compared to where you want to be. Like, the bar increases the more you improve, but you'll continuously fail. That's why failing forward is so crucial, because there's no such thing as perfection. Perfection actually makes you depressed. Perfection is stupid. Like, I was a perfectionist. I used to be one. But every single person that I talked to, all my clients, family members, everything, I tried to get the perfectionism out of their heads and try to instead instill consistency and improvement and making things better every day. That's it. Just do 80%. There's one saying that I've heard that I think is actually kind of ridiculous. And it is, give everything you've got to everything you do. Now, that sounds great on paper, okay? But you know what happens when you give everything you've got to everything you do? You get injured, okay? You create issues for yourself that wouldn't have been there otherwise. Like, for example, unhappiness. Like, for example, struggling mentally, being depressed, having, I could never hit my goals. Bro, what are you talking about? That's not what it's about. It's about improvement daily. 1% daily would be great. Okay, if your goal is to get to 100 DMs a day, which is my goal at this point in time, it's not about doing 100 DMs a day, bro. Just do 20, okay? And then can you improve that? Can you improve to 22? Whoa, that's a 10% increase the next day, bro. That's insane. Okay, and then you get to 30 eventually. But it needs to start somewhere, and then you improve slowly. Well, slowly there's nothing inherently amazing about slowly. The key is steadily and in continuously improving that circumstance until you get to 100. But guess what? When you get to 100, you want to improve more. And so you'll always be failing on your journey. Failure is amazing. Failure is fantastic. Again, there's no such thing as setbacks. It's only continuously improving. Now, never ever quit. Because when you quit, hopefully you can take that experience and bring it with you to the next experience. But it's so important that you don't finish the race before the race is finished. Because that is the ultimate setback. That's you being hit KO and then not getting back up again. Now, obviously, you can lose the battle and then win the war again in the future. But this should happen very rarely. The point is to show up, to get back up again, because you can. You're strong enough for that. And the reason why I know that you're strong enough for that, no matter what's happening in your life right now, and everyone's struggling, right, is by simply doing a baby step. Just start somewhere. That somewhere could be DMing me. That something could be DMing a friend. That's something, and uplifting them. Have you tried that? When you're depressed, bro, try to uplift someone else. Because that's going to help you to get out of your funk. Very often, depressed people try to get other people depressed, or they do that on autopilot without even thinking about it. But you can do it differently. Make every setback into fuel for you to continue your consistency journey. Yes, and for those of you who are still here after seeing this video, this is what happened to me when I played basketball. I did a Steph Curry 3, step back, and then I landed on my hands. I guess I broke my finger. I didn't even know. And so I ended up getting a mallet finger, if you want to figure out what that is. That's what I got. And it became ugly, okay? Like, it became like this, kind of broken in this situation. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't want to have that type of finger for the rest of my life. And I should have fixed it at the ER on that day. But I was like, I'll see how it heals. It didn't heal well. And so as a result, I needed surgery. And this is what happened. So I'll be back on the basketball court at New Year's. I'm fired up about that. But thank you so much for watching. You guys are freaking awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one.